So listen, I wanted to watch this video off stream, but I decided to watch it on stream and see what you guys think as well about She-Hulk. I haven't seen the latest episode that was so freaking controversial, but this video came out, I think, before. So it came out September 5th. I don't think episode 4 was out and live. And this is a video made by a YouTuber, Nasu. And I just want to hear his opinion about it because I like the title. Why that She-Hulk scene was so controversial. And I don't know what scene he's talking about, but I have a feeling he's talking about the twerk scene. Unless he's talking about episode 4. So let's see.
I have an army. We have a Hulk.
September 4th was episode 4. So I think he was talking then about the latest episode. Probably the guy.
Although I'm somebody who actively keeps up with the MCU,
it's loud.
I've never really felt the need to consume every single bit of content related to the franchise. To this day, I still haven't seen Thor 1 or 2, nor have I seen either of the Ant-Man movies. I've never really felt like I'm missing much by just watching 95% of the content instead of the full 100. And with
If you haven't seen Ant-Man movie, yes, you missed. Especially figuring out why some things happened like that in Avengers or Endgame or whatever after, you know, like it's related.
how popular Marvel is, I still consume that last 5% just by being around
Doctor
other
Strange.
people who have seen it. I originally had no intention of watching She-Hulk, let alone making a video on it. Nothing about it really caught my interest. It seemed like just another Marvel show. Nothing special, but also nothing awful. Just standard mediocrity. Mid, if you will. But then I made the mistake of opening Twitter. Hey, follow me by the way. And people were either acting like this show was the second coming of Infinity War, or acting like it killed their firstborn child. The two groups were
True,
largely
man.
divided on
Twitter.
the basis of sex, with the extreme end of one side wishing death upon all men, and the other side had alpha males taking a break from popping the reddest of pills and topping off Top G to, do a little misogyny. And all of these heated arguments were primarily focused around a single scene in the first episode. I had to see what all the fuss was about, so I checked it out.
A single scene in the first episode? What scene is he talking about? Because I don't feel like in the first episode you had such a controversial scene, to be honest with you. Hi, Ascension, what's up?
If you're looking for somebody who's gonna mindlessly shit on the show because #woke, you won't find that
Literally,
here.
bro.
But if you want to take a deeper look into She-Hulk and why just the first 30 minutes of the series has been so polarizing, let's dive into the first episode. Jennifer
Oh, guys, by the way, before we dive in the first episode, if you haven't seen She-Hulk, spoilers alert. Don't watch this. Come back in 13 minutes. More like 12 minutes and 20 minutes. 12 minutes and 20 minutes. 12 minutes and 20 seconds.
Walters, our titular She-Hulk, is a lawyer and cousin to Bruce Banner. We know this because she tells us. No, literally, she looks at the camera, breaks the fourth wall, and gives us her origin story. She gets her powers after a car accident with her and Bruce in the car, where some of Bruce's blood enters her bloodstream through an open wound. She
So what's
wanders to a
controversial?
nearby bar and tries to get cleaned up. When leaving the bar, she gets hit on by a group of guys and hulks out before Bruce knocks her out to prevent her from
I
catching
love
a
this
triple
scene.
homicide. When Jennifer finally comes to, she's in Bruce's beach, bar, laboratory, and it's here that the iconic scene takes place.
He's
He
living
brought
the
Jennifer
life.
here to isolate her. After years of wrestling for control of his own body against a dangerous alter ego capable of planetary devastation, he's seen the kind of damage that can cause, and he doesn't want that for his cousin. Bruce has already been through it all, documented every single step of his journey. There is literally no one better suited to helping Jennifer with what she's going through than Bruce. Understandably, she's not too thrilled about suddenly having her life uprooted and forced into an anime training arc. But she reluctantly
Understandably.
agrees to let Bruce guide her. He begins training her
I love how he's like retelling for the next 13 minutes 4 episodes of She-Hulk.
both mentally
Just tell me the controversial scene. Thank you.
and physically, and she excels at everything. She can
You don't even have
transform
to watch the
in
series,
and
you
out
can
of her
just
Hulk
watch this
form at
video.
will. She's a natural at using her newfound superhuman strength.
hating though,
She's
it's
got
fine.
perfect grades in every class and is steady on her way to
you, bro.
graduating from Hulk Academy and return to her normal life. But Bruce urges her to continue training. He reminds her of the great responsibility that comes with her great power, and questions what she'll do with it, a question that she herself posed in the opening lines of the episode.
What is the responsibility of those with power? Do they merely have an obligation to refrain from the misuse of that power? Or do they have a duty to protect those without it?
Bruce has first-hand experience with the difficulties that come with a power like theirs, and wants to be absolutely certain that Jennifer is equipped to handle any challenges that may come up. Which brings us to everyone's favorite scene.
Well, here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time. When I'm catcalled in the street, when incompetent men explain my own area of expertise to me, I do it pretty much every day, because if I don't, I will get called emotional or difficult, or I might just literally get murdered. So I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you. So all of this just feels like projecting a lot of shit onto me.
On the surface, there's nothing wrong with the things that she brings up. It's
I did not see anything wrong with that scene. Do I have a problem?
what came immediately after that caused so much controversy. You see, Jennifer just decided to play a game called the Oppression Olympics, the Misfortune Matches even, the Tribulation Tournament, if you will. It's the never-ending competition between groups of people to determine who suffers the most, the need to validate one's own problems by constantly one-upping someone else's.
Okay, now I understand what he means by that scene. Okay,
To which I ask, why are we comparing two bad bitches? No, when I say bad, I literally mean bad. Like, all of these things are awful, and comparing them doesn't help anyone.
New card. What do you think?
Whoa, very nice. Look at that.
It's very cool, Bateman, but that's nothing. Look at this.
That is really nice.
Oh my god!
White.
Impressive. Very nice. Let's see Paul Allen's card. Look at that subtle off-white coloring.
It's literally,
Taste the
yeah.
thickness of it.
It's literally like a fight,
Jennifer
you know?
mentioned some valid reasons
like
as
a
to why she
war.
might get angry and why she has to manage that anger.
What's
and then
worse?
completely derails her point to shit on Bruce for no reason.
So I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you.
No,
Infinitely more than you. Yeah, now I get it in a way, because those are her issues. And this is the thing, your problems, when like for you, are the biggest, you know? And if you start comparing with other people's problems, your problems might be like tiny, you know, compared to bigger issues. But for you, they are the biggest, because it's your life, it's your body, it's your soul, it's what you're going through. And for you, they might be the worst thing.
no, that's not
And
why.
I
That
think that
had
from her
nothing to do with your
perspective,
point.
that's it.
Bruce has done nothing but try to help her out of fear of her Hulk powers destroying her life. Fear born from seeing what those same powers have done to his own life. Having his relationships ruined and being hunted by the government. Growing close
This is not infinitely nothing. He went through hell. And we know that because we went through hell as well watching it.
to a new group of people, but ultimately being a liability and a danger to them. He's incredibly strong, but is also a loose cannon. Shit, I mean, villain causes Hulk to go on a rampage is such a reliable strategy that they used it 2 films in a row. He puts himself under intergalactic quarantine so he doesn't deal any more damage to the Earth, and is enslaved for 2 years, forced to fight as a gladiator for people's entertainment. The Hulk suffers a crushing defeat at the hands of Thanos, and is given a permanent reminder of his failures when half of the universe is snapped out of existence. Oh, and he tried to kill himself.
In case you needed to kill me, but you can't. I know, I tried.
Some people have also brought up things
Yeah.
canon to the comics, such as the abuse Bruce suffered as a child, and how his father killed his mother, but that feels like really reaching to prove a point. Disney and Marvel are known to change things in the MCU,
True,
so it wouldn't really
true.
make sense
Hi, by
to
the way.
compare across universes. Besides, the films already give more than enough to drive the point home. Bruce Banner has been through a lot. Whether it's more or less than Jennifer has gone through isn't relevant. There's absolutely nothing to be gained by comparing them, much
Yeah.
less trivializing one. And for those saying that she
True.
isn't invalidating Bruce's struggles, she's just expressing her own, are simply wrong. I don't know how else to say it, but there's no world in which you tell somebody that you do something infinitely more than them and are not trying to belittle that person.
No, I don't agree with his point. There's so many times when you open up to people who are close to you, the conversation you have with your family members are way different than conversations you have with people you just met or your colleagues or whatever. this is a person that she grew up with, you know, this is her family. And if she's talking like this to him, she's opening up her own emotions. It doesn't mean that she is discrediting him or talking shit directly to him. Even though she's looking at him and talking to him, she most likely is not talking about him or talking to him. She's just opening up about everything that is going on in her own life.
Beyond just drawing a line between Bruce and Jennifer, the show also very clearly creates a divide between men and women. Up until this point, aside from Bruce, the only other men that we've seen have solely existed to illustrate the problems that Jennifer brings up. The first guy that we see views Jennifer as incompetent and tells her that she should just let a man handle the job. The second group of men catcall and harass her. That's the extent of their existence. They weren't characters, just vehicles for depicting the ultimate villain of this show. What her problems aren't the
But come on, guys, like the thing is that it's the show about She-Hulk, and if her problem is men, then let her talk about it. It's her show, and let her do whatever she wants to do. If they want to talk about that topic, let them talk about that topic. Do they have to talk about every topic, every problem everyone is facing? No.
Problem.
They don't.
It's how they're presented. Unsurprisingly, it's going to be pretty hard to get a lot of people invested in a character's struggles when she opens up by alienating, I don't know, maybe 1, 2, or literally half of the entire world's population. Imagine if the scene had gone something more like this. Bruce, I do control my anger. Just because I didn't turn into a big green monster every time I got upset doesn't mean I've never had to watch my emotions. I've had to work just as hard, if not harder than everyone else to get where I am, and I will still have my skill and credibility called into question on the basis of nothing more than my gender. Do you know what it's like to constantly be made to feel lesser than? To be hit on, feel unsafe, and not be able to act out because you have no idea what might happen to you if you do. Bruce, I may not have been a Hulk for the past decade, but I don't need to know how to control my anger. But I'm not a scriptwriter.
That actually was good.
The scene remains more or less the same, but with a lot less of the whole demonizing everything with a penis. When I first saw the scene, I actually assumed that they were estranged cousins, and so Jennifer didn't know much about what Bruce had been through.
That was really good.
But,
it's all about the way you say it, right?
Really? Oh, so you didn't wind up alone? Hiding away on some remote beach with no friends, no relationships, never seeing your family, and definitely not dealing with a decade's worth of trauma?
Yeah, she knows exactly what he's been through. She just doesn't seem to give a shit, making the dialogue all the more damaging. But even if she didn't know, much like how those female experiences she mentioned may be foreign to Bruce, men have their own challenges that are unique to them. Men are known to suffer in silence because they lack the proper outlets to deal with those emotions. It's no surprise that they take their own life at a significantly higher rate. From a young age, they hear things like, "You shouldn't cry, aren't you a man?" They're discouraged from liking anything that could even remotely be perceived as feminine, out of fear of everyone going,
"You're gay! He's gay!"
What the hell, man?
He's gay!
That's like
There's
2010,
constant pressure
right?
for men to adhere to a certain image of masculinity, and anyone who deviates is no longer a man. This image is perpetuated by men and women alike. I'm a 6'2" black male, and I'm willing to bet that the last image that comes into your mind when you heard that description is me opening up about my feelings and crying. There's this fairly recent push for men to be more open with the ridiculous tagline, "Vulnerability is sexy." But the moment that they do, that vulnerability is often taken and used against them.
I'm sad to hear that. I think vulnerability should be sexy. It should be fine. I love seeing a man who is in touch with his emotions.
In the Me Too movement, when Terry Crews publicly spoke about being assaulted, a large portion of people mocked him. They questioned how someone built like this could let that happen to him.
Wow.
He should have reacted with violence, because that's how a man handles things. Men are also affected by the toxic masculinity that Jennifer so clearly hates, but it seems
But now he's like comparing, you know, like, I understand he's trying to say what men are going through, not only what women are going through. But I feel like She-Hulk is about she, and they want to bring that perspective. You know, yeah, they're not saying it the right way, they're not doing it the right way, but it's, in my opinion, it should exist there. Like, if that's the topic, they should consider and concentrate on just that part. Not also compare everything else. Like he said, don't compare. Don't talk about everyone else. And now he's doing it.
Seems like she can't spare a single ounce of empathy for her cousin. Just because someone suffers differently doesn't mean that they suffer any less. When a friend of mine was asked how she feels about the phrase, men aren't trash, she responds with, yeah, I say it sometimes, like when a friend
You
is
get
going through
that.
a breakup and I'm trying to lift her up. To which I ask, where is the lifting up in that statement? Is it really only possible to lift
lifting up.
someone up by knocking someone else down?
No.
No. Hell no. But it's something
Yeah.
that's been so heavily baked into everyone's vocabulary. You can't be pro-black without being anti-white. You can't be an ally unless you got a bone to pick with every cis-het white male. You can't play League of Legends without being a disappointment to your family. Things like that. It's always pick one side or the other with
Bro, he went there. He went
absolutely
there.
no middle ground. And it's terrible for promoting any kind of productive discussion. She-Hulk caused controversy because that's the only thing that kind of approach is conducive to. Choose a hill and die on it. No one cares to try and see where the other side is coming from because the show itself doesn't care to do that. It takes sensitive topics and handles them with as much care as a crack addict going on their second week of withdrawal.
So basically, She-Hulk has bad writers. That's the thing. Everything is fine. The topic is fine. The problems that are she's dealing with are fine. The problem is just bad writers. You know, that's
Some
it.
people also took issue
All
with
could have
Jennifer
been handled
seemingly
differently if they were
contradicting
saying the
herself
right
by saying
words.
that she controls her anger when catcalled, despite very clearly not doing that earlier in the episode. But I don't think that's necessarily bad. It is contradictory, sure, but so are humans. We often don't operate based on how things are, but rather how we perceive them to be. And if that's what she believes, then that's how she'll describe herself. It's not necessarily indicative of bad writing, and could just be a character flaw that leads to development later in the story. Lord knows she could use more of those. As things are right now, she's just perfect at everything for seemingly no reason. And any problem she does have is caused by... which
Oh, it's a meme.
is also dehumanizing in its own way. Now, forgive me for being so bold, but women are still human. They're not infallible beings, and implying otherwise creates an unrealistic standard. It's 2022 and some of y'all niggas still think that women don't fart. So,
Did he just call me the N-word?
maybe they'll do something to bring her back down to planet Earth in the coming episodes. I'm hopeful, but I'm sure as hell not optimistic. Anyways,
Why?
that's the video.
Why?
I'll see y'all in the
Why
next
did he
one.
do that?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Why can he
She
call
was
me
driving
that?
the car
And
when
I
they
can't call
crashed.
him.
Scratch the whole video. Top G was right. Women really can't drive.
Never.
Commentate W.
Now he went backwards because he likes controversy. He needs controversy to exist on the internet. That's why. But let's go. He called me the N-word. I'm gonna make this a controversy. How dare he? So he can do it to me and I can. Where is equality? Huh? Where is equality? That's not okay. That's not the right. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that now. I'm just joking, by the way, guys.